This evening, first up, a historic connection. The final span of the new Demerara River Bridge is in place. When will commuters get to drive across, and how will it change life on both banks? Plus, election security. Police Commissioner Clifton Hicken promises full deployment on polling day, but only to protect democracy, not interfere. What that means for voters on September 1st. Also, no more parcels. The Guyana Post Office suspends all outbound packages to the U.S. after new American import rules take effect. What you can still send and what's now off limits. Meanwhile, court showdown. The Forward Guyana Movement's challenge against GECOM heads to a ruling tomorrow. Could the case change how ballots are cast, or will it fizzle out before Election Day? And global fallout. The European Union slaps new taxes on Russian fertilizers in its latest move to cut ties with Moscow. What it could mean for food prices worldwide. All this and more coming up on Headline News Update. Stay with us. Welcome to this broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Update for August 28, 2025. I'm Bibi Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. First up, the long-awaited new Demerara River Bridge is now fully connected, following the final concrete pour led by President Dr. Mohamed Irfaan Ali early this morning. Spanning 2.6 kilometers, the four-lane bridge links Nandi Park on the east bank to Lagrange on the west bank, with a 50-meter clearance allowing handy mixed vessels to pass below.
We are witnessing what is the final pour. After the final pour is completed, they'll finish all the concrete work on this high span and then complete the paving of the bridge with all of the other auxiliary safety features of the bridge, lighting features of the bridge. It's important to note that throughout the process of building this bridge, the consultants and engineers will have conducted internationally certified methods and tests to ensure the bridge meets all the structural requirements as is required. And of course, on this high span, before the bridge is open, there will be the loading test. And that loading test is important on the high span because, as you know, in cable stay bridge, that is how to do the adjustments on the cable to ensure that everything is up to the standard.
Built with a 100-year lifespan, the structure is designed to ease chronic traffic congestion and support 24/7 toll-free operations at speeds of up to 80 kilometers per hour. President Ali hailed the achievement as a historic milestone, crediting both local and international teams for their work. He confirmed the bridge will be open to the public very early in September, once final safety installations, including rails and lane dividers, are completed.
The bridge is structurally going to be completed. As I said, after this, the final concrete will be poured, the final piece of pavement. There's one section of the entrance on the east end that will be completed. And of course, we had some modifications of the design, putting in a collector's lane for better traffic management and traffic flow. So that is being completed. So I would say very early in September, we will be driving on and off of the bridge.
More than 50,000 commuters are expected to use the bridge daily, with projected annual savings of $3.5 billion. The design will also incorporate the Cacique Crown of Honor, symbolizing national pride. This major project is part of a push to modernize Ghana's infrastructure and improve connectivity for generations to come. With the final span now in place, the new Demerara River Bridge stands not only as a solution to decades of congestion, but also as a symbol of Ghana's rapid transformation. As the country prepares to drive across its landmark in September, the bridge represents more than concrete and steel. It reflects progress, unity, and a future built to last for generations. On a different note, Commissioner of Police Clifton Hicken has assured citizens that the Ghana Police Force will be out in full strength on Elections Day, but strictly to safeguard the democratic process, not to interfere. Speaking ahead of the September 1st polls, Commissioner Hicken said officers will be deployed across all 10 administrative regions to guarantee that voters can exercise their constitutional rights peacefully and safely.
Police officers and ranks will be present in all 10 of the administrative regions and by extension, the 12 administrative regions of the Guyana Police Force. Not to interfere, but to protect your constitutional rights to participate peacefully and safely.
He emphasized that the Guyana Police Force has undergone extensive training to manage any situation that may arise and issued a stern warning against attempts to disrupt order.
Now, let it be clearly understood. Any attempt to create disorder, intimidate others, or break the law will be dealt with swiftly and decisively. We have confidence in the people of Guyana.
On Tuesday, Hicken convened a major deployment briefing with senior and junior officers, ensuring that ranks are fully prepared for their duties on polling day. The commissioner reiterated the force's commitment to upholding law and order while protecting the rights of every citizen during the elections. Moving on, the Guyana Post Office Corporation issued a statement on Wednesday, August 27, stating that it has instituted a suspension of all outbound postal parcels and packages to the United States of America, effective immediately until further notice. This decision comes in response to the suspension of the de minimis exemption, which previously allowed goods valued under $800 to enter the United States of America duty-free. The Guyana Post Office will continue to facilitate the shipment of letters and documents to the United States. The new policy, enacted by the United States of America, mandates that all international parcels, regardless of value, are subject to U.S. import duties and takes effect from August 29, 2025. Additionally, packages destined for countries whose shipment transit through the United States of America will not be accepted by the Guyana Post Office Corporation. This includes packages being sent to Australia, Grand Cayman, New Zealand, Turks and Caicos, Uruguay, Nicaragua, Vietnam, Guatemala, Honduras, and Paraguay. Further updates will be provided through the Guyana Post Office Corporation's official communication channels. Stick around when we return. Human Services Ministry launches certificate program to boost social services in the hinterland. And Chief Justice to rule Friday on Forward Guyana Movement's ballot exclusion case against GECOM.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the moment you've been waiting for. Step right up because it's time for Digicel's $12 million punch and win. Top up with just $1,000 or more for a shot at winning up to $2 million weekly. That's right, up to $2 million weekly. 6 weeks, $2 million per week. Will you be one of our lucky winners? There's only one way to find out. Top up, punch, and win. Only with Digicel. Digicel, better connected.
What's going on here, man? Why the two of y'all look so gloomy?
Uncle Joe, you know thief man been in we house and thief all we valuables, including we ID card. Now election come around and we want to go vote. We ain't get no ID card to identify ourselves. Now we can't go vote.
Well, you need to apply to GECOM to have your ID cards replaced. But you need not worry that you won't be able to vote because you don't have your ID cards. GECOM has put other measures in place to accurately identify voters like you who may not have the ID cards.
But how they gonna do that? How they gonna know is we name on the list if we don't have ID to prove it?
In addition to your ID card, voters can present their valid passports or valid driver's license if they have these.
Really?
But further, GECOM has placed your photograph alongside your name on a folio which will be at the polling station. And if you go to the polling station without a photo ID, you will be asked to state your name and address. The elections official will look at your face and then compare it with the photo alongside your name on the folio to confirm that they are the same. Then you'll have to answer some questions to verify your identity. If the election official is satisfied that you are the person who you claim to be, you will be allowed to vote after taking an oath of identity.
So you get to vote.
For more information, contact the GECOM on 225-02779 or visit www.gecom.org.gy.
Sneakily with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Common smiles make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services, 316 Mill Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Acting Chief Justice Narendra Singh will deliver his ruling in the case filed by the Forward Guyana Movement against the Ghana Elections Commission on Friday at 2 p.m. The matter, brought by Region 9 candidate Crystal Hadassah Fisher, challenges FGM's exclusion from the ballot in Regions 7, 8, and 9, arguing it violates her constitutional right to vote for a party of her choice. Closing submissions were delivered on Wednesday by U.S.-based attorney Vivian Williams, who argued that GECOM's actions, while consistent with the Representation of the People's Act, breach constitutional provisions on inclusionary democracy and the right to vote. However, Attorney General Alan Nandalal dismissed Williams' case as inconsistent and politically charged, accusing him of introducing new arguments. Nandalal maintained that FGM's absence from the ballot is due to its failure to submit geographical constituency lists, stressing that constitutional voting rights must be exercised within the framework of electoral laws. GECOM's attorney, Arudranath Gusai, also argued that votes derived from constituency lists, which then feed into the national top-up list, making FGM ineligible in the contested regions. Justice Singh cautioned that any arguments raised outside the original pleadings would not be considered. He also noted that the outcome of the case or any appeal would not affect the holding of the September 1st general and regional elections. In other news, the Ministry of Human Services and Social Security, in partnership with the Ghana Association of Professional Social Workers and the University of Guyana, on Tuesday launched the Certificate in Paraprofessional Social Services program at the Arthur Chang Conference Center. The initiative targets individuals from hinterland, rural, and remote areas, equipping them with the skills and ethical foundations needed to address social services issues in their communities. Graduates will be able to support government agencies, serve in roles equivalent to social services officers, and access new employment opportunities. Human Services Minister Dr. Vindya Prasad said the program was developed in response to the shortage of trained social workers in the hinterland, where access to proper care is limited. Ghana Association of Professional Social Workers President and the University of Ghana lecturer Debbie Hopkinson added that the course will speed up response time for social issues in remote regions. The 3-credit certificate in the Paraprofessional Social Services program will serve as a foundation for further studies. Upon completion, participants can continue their training through UG's Institute of Distance and Continuing Education to pursue the Introduction to Social Work 1 and 2 programs. Don't go away after the break. Shooting at Minneapolis Catholic School leaves 2 children dead, 17 injured, and children in Sudan's El Fasher starving after 500 days of siege. UNICEF.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the moment you've been waiting for. Step right up because it's time for Digicel's $12 million punch and win. Top up with just $1,000 or more for a shot at winning up to $2 million weekly. That's right, up to $2 million weekly. 6 weeks, $2 million per week. Will you be one of our lucky winners? There's only one way to find out. Top up, punch, and win. Only with Digicel. Digicel, better connected.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lenders, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Sneakily with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Common smiles make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services, 316 Mill Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
What's going on here, man? Why the two of y'all look so gloomy?
Uncle Joe, you know thief man been in the house and thief all we valuables, including the ID card. Now election come around and we want to go vote. We ain't get no ID card to identify ourselves. Now we can't go vote.
Well, you need to apply to GECOM to have your ID cards replaced. But you need not worry that you won't be able to vote because you don't have your ID cards. GECOM has put other measures in place to accurately identify voters like you who may not have the ID cards.
But how they gonna do that? How they gonna know is we name on the list if we don't have ID to prove it?
In addition to your ID card, voters can present their valid passports or valid driver's license if they have these.
Really?
But further, GECOM has placed your photograph alongside your name on a folio which will be at the polling station. And if you go to the polling station without a photo ID, you will be asked to state your name and address. The elections official will look at your face and then compare it with the photo alongside your name on the folio to confirm that they are the same. Then you'll have to answer some questions to verify your identity. If the election official is satisfied that you are the person who you claim to be, you will be allowed to vote after taking an oath of identity.
So you get to vote?
For more information, contact the GECOM on 225-02779 or visit www.gecom.org.gy.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world. The Bahamian government has rejected claims it is selling passports like candy, calling them unfounded and explosive. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs urged police to investigate the allegations made by the Charlotte Green of the Coalition of Independence, insisting no evidence supports her accusation against Minister Fred Mitchell. 2 children have been killed and 17 others injured in a shooting at a Catholic church school in Minneapolis. Students were attending morning mass when a heavily armed attacker opened fire through the windows of the church, Al Jazeera's Rob McBride reports.
The shooting happened as the children and staff from the Annunciation Catholic School were attending a mass in the adjoining church to mark the start of the new school year. The heavily armed assailant began shooting indiscriminately through the windows at the people inside, firing off dozens of rounds before taking their own life. The area was quickly swarming with armed police, emergency responders, and parents, desperate to know whether their children were safe or were among the victims.
I was super happy because, I was scared that I wasn't going to see her. Because I didn't know what was happening, really. I was just in shock.
I was just at church, and I heard something really loud. I thought it was fireworks in the church. And then I saw the shooting, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so scared.
The attacker has been identified as 23-year-old Robin Westman, who lived locally and whose social media accounts described the killing of children with videos of weapons and explosives. The attack has once again stirred the ongoing gun debate in the US.
Think of your own. Let's make sure that we're acting now to not just say it's never happening again, but ensure it doesn't.
As schools and colleges in the US have this week been returning to campus for the start of the new academic year, there have been a number of lockdowns fearing just such an attack. For the most part, there have been false alarms. But on this day in Minneapolis, the danger was very real. As this community mourns and cares for the victims, the Pope has joined those offering words of condolence. And the White House has ordered flags to be lowered to half-staff, as they've been lowered before after so many other mass shootings. Rob McBride, Al Jazeera, Minneapolis.
The European Union has introduced new taxes on Russian fertilizers as it tries to break economic ties and cut off financing for the war in Ukraine. Al Jazeera's Lulia Shapovalova reports.
The European Union has tried in recent years to break off economic ties with Russia, bringing in sanctions on many areas, hoping to cut off Russian finance for the war in Ukraine. Oil, coal and ferrous metals once used to be a big part of Russia's exports to the EU. Now paper, wood and engineering products are on the banned list too. But there are some products like Russian natural gas and fertilizers which are hard to be replaced quickly. But even so, the EU is gradually putting bigger tariffs on Russian fertilizers.
The reason is purely political, not economic, because Russian suppliers are advantageous to Europe, both from a logistical point of view and from the point of view of the price-quality ratio. I think we'll see attempts from the EU to replace Russian fertilizers and other goods, even if that hurts them economically.
Having lost the European market, Russia is actively looking for new buyers for its fertilizers, and it's finding them quickly, shifting supplies to partner countries in the BRICS bloc. Currently, Brazil, India and China are the main purchasers of Russian fertilizers. While the European Union loses high-quality, low-price products from Russia, it's forced to buy fertilizers at higher prices from third countries. But there is a third participant which benefits, the United States. It hasn't banned Russian fertilizers, and while the EU is abandoning them, the US is increasing its purchases from Russia, often selling them on to Europe. Even if the Russian fertilizers reach the European market through third countries, that still increases costs. The price of fertilizers in turn affects the price of food, so ultimately shoppers will have to pay more. Yulia Shapovalova, Al Jazeera, Moscow.
The UN has warned of a looming famine in the besieged capital of Sudan's North Darfur region. Al Jazeera's Mohammed Val reports.
What's being cooked in this cauldron is not regular human food. It's a local animal fodder called ambaz, made of the husk of pressed beans. The families here say they've run out of choices.
We are very tired of random shelling. We are so tired. Life is difficult and getting food is difficult. We can't find anything to eat.
Al-Fashir is the last major stronghold of the Sudanese army and its allied factions in the western region of Darfur. But it's been under siege by rapid support forces for a year and a half now. The siege means little, if any, relief aid is allowed in. But the scope of the suffering stretches across Western Sudan. UNICEF issued a stark warning on Wednesday, saying that Al-Fashir has become a hotbed of malnutrition, disease and violence, claiming young lives every day. The statement adds that at least 600,000 people, half of them children, have been displaced from Al-Fashir and the surrounding camps in recent months. Inside the city, an estimated 260,000 civilians, including 130,000 children, remain trapped in desperate conditions. Over the last few months, hundreds of thousands of civilians fled Al-Fashir and the displacement camps around it. But they didn't fare better, with reports of deaths by hunger, thirst or deliberate killings along the desert trails or in new areas of displacement. repeated calls by humanitarian groups for the world to come to the rescue of the victims and for the warring parties to try to put an end to the conflict are falling on deaf ears. Mohammed Fall, Al Jazeera, Khartoum.
This brings us to the end of our regional and global news coverage. Up next is the 3-minute forecast. And that's it to TV2 Headline News for this Thursday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. You can tune in tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. for a rebroadcast and at 7 p.m. for more news. Until then, please take care of yourselves and each other.